Hi guys, welcome to the Wrestling Retrospective, and in today's video I'm going to be doing my review of NXT Stand and Deliver 2025. So first up on the pre-show, we had the 4-way elimination tag team match for the women, which was won by Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley. They defeated the Meta Girls, Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade, and Fatal Influence in a solid match for the pre-show. I thought it was really good. The action in a Fatal 4-way tag match always breaks down, so then you don't really know who the legal competitors are, and the referee just kind of ignores all rules that are possibly available. Again, we had two people start in the ring. It is the biggest joke having two people start a 4-way tag match. Just have one member of each team start in the ring. It'd be a fatal 4-way match. Very simple stuff, makes things very easy to follow. But having only two people start makes absolutely no sense, and it pisses me off every time. But to the match, I thought this was a solid match for the pre-show. I thought that all four teams had really good showings throughout. No one really looked majorly weak from a wrestling standpoint, but the Meta Girls deserved a lot better than being eliminated first. I was genuinely surprised that they were out first, and then it got even worse when Roxanne Perez had arguably the worst weekend of her entire life. When she was eliminated, Cora got the elimination pin. Roxanne walked out on Cora, which, I mean, gives them a story, I know, but yeah, Roxanne deserves so much better this weekend. It was a travesty, the weekend she's just had. I didn't expect Gigi and Tatum to get the win. They were probably the team I had as like the least likely to win the match, but I'm very happy. Like, I'm a big fan of them. You know, I've made it no secret that I'm a big fan of Shotzi. Tatum, I'm all for, and Gigi's really good as well. I think like it speaks volumes the fact that Gigi Dolan and JC Jane debuted as a tag team in NXT 2.0 like 5 years ago, and now they're in exactly the same position, just with different partners. Like, it's such a shame for those two because they are really good. But yeah, it was just a case of like they're just in exactly the same position as they have been the whole time they've been in NXT, and they do deserve a bit better, to be fair. Gigi and Tatum, will they win the tag titles? Probably not. You know, they're going up against new champions Liv and Raquel. I can't see them dropping the titles to these two, I'm not going to lie. But they do have two tag team title matches this week, as they're also challenging for the TNA TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships at Rebellion this weekend. So I don't think they're going to win either matches, which is a shame. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, following the weekend, I feel like Roxanne, Cora, and maybe even the Meta Girls as well are probably going to go up to the main roster. Cora has done everything she could possibly not do in NXT to win a championship. I don't think it's ever going to happen, so you may as well just bring her up at this point. Roxanne may as well just be on the main roster at this point. And same for the Meta Girls. They had a really good showing back at, I think it was Crown Jewel on Night of Champions. It was one of the Saudi events. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't just stay on the main roster afterwards, but it is what it is. But yeah, it was a really big win for Gigi and Tatum, and yeah, I think it'll be a decent match with Liv and Raquel tonight on NXT, but yeah, I can't see them winning the match, unfortunately. Following that, Ricky Saints successfully defended the North American Championship against Ethan Page in what was a really good match. These two clearly have very good chemistry. There was a lot of good fluid motions between wrestling and transitions and counters and all that kind of stuff. It worked really well. You could tell that these two have probably worked together on multiple occasions, though I can't think of any other than the one match they had in AEW. Yeah, it was very evenly contested. Ricky Saints' table spot was awful. Just landing straight on the table, and yeah, that table took a battering like on Stand and Deliver night. It was used a lot before it finally broke in the main event. But yeah, this looked particularly gruesome as like Ricky went like ribbed first into the table. It reminded me a lot of Shawn Michaels' table spot from WrestleMania 26 or 24, I can't remember. But yeah, it was really, really bad looking. Ethan Page taking the pin makes the most sense, especially if he's going to go up to the main roster, which he very much should. Ethan Page is very much a big fish in a small pond, no offense to NXT, but Ethan Page is made for the main roster. He's very similar to how LA Knight was originally. And yeah, he's going to go up to the main roster and fit straight in with all those lot. But yeah, no, this was a good first defense for Ricky. I felt like this is going to be a longer reign compared to some of the North American title reigns we've seen recently since Oba. But yeah, I can't see him like overtaking Oba. But yeah, I think this could be a decent reign, and this was a really good match to get that reign started off with. Following that, Hank and Tank defeated Fraxium to become the new NXT Tag Team Champions, and this was actually a really good match as well. I did not expect Hank and Tank to have this good of a match in them. I'd kind of written them off, but maybe that's just me being naive, I guess. We all know that Fraser and Axiom just have great matches, so it doesn't surprise me that they've had a good match. But yeah, Hank and Tank matches are just like, they're entertaining for the character of Hank and Tank, but like match quality wise, I haven't been that impressed by them. But yeah, this was very, very good and a pleasant surprise, if you will. But yeah, I'm not sure how Hank and Tank are going to be as champions. Personally, like I said, I never had them to win the championships in the first place. I didn't feel like it was built up enough for them to beat Fraxium. I maybe would have had Fraxium beat them here, and then at Battleground had the title change, maybe then they could be built up even more. But I'm saying, changing the titles here is fine. Like, it again, I know I don't want to say this like a lot when it comes to this show, but it does feel like Fraxium are going to be called up in the very near future, especially as they both had main roster matches now. Obviously, Fraser faced Rey Fenix in his debut, and Axiom faced Gunther in Spain a month or so ago. So yeah, it does feel like they're going to end up on the main roster very soon. But then we said that about Bron Breakker, and he didn't go up for like a year later. So I really don't know when the corp's going to come up. But yeah, I can't see Hank and Tank having a particularly long reign with the Tag Team Championships. But it was a decent match. It was a very feel-good moment for Hank and Tank. And yeah, I hope they have a decent reign, but I can't see it going on for too long, as I've said. Following that, we had Sol Rucker defeat Zaria, Lola Vice, Izzy Dane, Thea Hale, Kalani Jordan in a ladder match. And yeah, this was really good as well. I mean, you can't really have a bad ladder match, in my opinion. Not like in the moment when you're watching it, you can look back and think, oh, that was a bit shit. But I think in the moment, ladder matches are always going to be fun. They're always going to be enjoyable. And this was no different. This was very, very good. Yeah, there was really no mega high spots as we usually see in this kind of ladder match. No one like... We had the... I can't remember who it was. Someone took out the culling at ringside. I can't remember who it was right now, so I do apologise. And yeah, Sol Rucker, really cool Soul Snatcher off the ladder, taking out two people. No, it was a Soul Snatcher off the ladder, taking out one person, and then one off the ropes, take out two people, like back to back. It was like fluid motions, Soul Snatchers, if you will. But yeah, no, this was really good. As a match, I was very surprised not to see a turn here, though the camera did concentrate on Zaria a little bit when Sol Rucker won. Maybe that's a tease when we see Zaria kind of turn on Sol Rucker. You know, there was the moment where they were both on top of the ladder together. You could see they were both very conflicted, but it was Sol Rucker that took the first punch to Zaria, which was very surprising. You know, you would have straight away assumed that Zaria was going to be the one, and it wasn't. So Rucker took the risk, and obviously it paid off, fighting her own partner to win the championship. But yeah, for me, Sol Rucker is more than deserving to be Women's North American Champion. And yeah, I had her down to win. Well, I didn't predict it. In my head, I was like, she's favourite to win the inaugural ladder match for the North American Championship, but she didn't win that one. It was Kalani Jordan. But yeah, no, this feels like a long time coming for Sol Rucker. But I do expect Zaria to turn on Sol in the very near future, if not tonight on NXT, because of the moment with them on top of the ladder where Sol kind of took the first punch, if you will. Following that, we had Dark State defeat the D'Angelo family in what was a decent match. This was more about the moment of Tony and Stacks and the story of Tony and Stacks more than anything else, which was fine because the right team won. Like, if they'd had the D'Angelo family win here and then did the turn, it maybe wouldn't have helped Dark State in the long term, in my opinion. If they're going to become the force that they seem to be setting up to be, losing their first PLE would have been a massive mistake. And though WWE have done this kind of thing to new groups before, I'm glad they didn't do it here. Having Dark State beat a well-established group in NXT is very good. The turn on Stacks was done very well. There was a moment where you thought Stacks was going to hit Tony with the crowbar. You could see Tony slightly looking back. So when he threw the crowbar away, Tony knew it was completely safe and that Stacks was on his team. And then the low blow happened and the turn happened fully. And what I do like about this is that afterwards, I think it was like after a few adverts and stuff, it showed Luca Crucifino going up to Stacks trying to get some answers, and he's like, no, I'll text you a location, you meet me there, you and Rizzo meet me there, I'll explain everything. So it seems like it's not going to be a case of Stacks is helping Dark State or Stacks is going into business for himself. I think he's trying to turn the whole family against Tony, and I think it's going to work. And Tony's going to end up by himself. He's not going to be Stacks by himself, which I think is a very good story to go by. You know, at the end of the day, Stacks is the underboss, so naturally the underboss will take over as the head of the family. I assume that's how things go in the films and in Mafia, but I don't really know. But yeah, I mean, if Stacks is by himself, I'm really not sure what they do with him afterwards. If he ends up turning the family, that is more helpful, because Tony as a singles guy has happened before when he first debuted, before he brought in Stacks and the other guy who they got rid of, who's in AEW. So yeah, he's established as a singles guy anyway. As for Dark State, you know, they could become a real dominant team in NXT if the booking is right. It's pretty much going to make 4 stars out of people, and it's the case of like, if NXT is going to get gutted in the draft again, which wouldn't surprise me, having this team there to kind of help NXT move on from like one version of NXT who go to the main roster to the next one, then that could work really well. Like, I feel like they're going to be one of the main points of NXT going forward, which is going to be really good for all 4 guys involved, because they're going to establish and make a name for themselves from that point until they get called up. So yeah, a lot of positives come out of this match as far as like the future goes, and the match itself was pretty decent as well, so positives all around for me. After that, we had Stephanie Vaquer defeat Jordynne Grace, Jada Parker and Giulia to retain the NXT Women's Championship, and this was the best match of the night so far. Yeah, they looked really, really good here throughout the match. The synergy between all 4 of them was really, really good. Everyone had a very good showing. It was very similar to the 2 big triple threat matches over the weekend. You know, the main event of night 1 and the starter match of night 2. Yeah, everyone kind of got their point in the match where you thought they were going to win, and yeah, I really didn't know at some points who was actually going to get the win in this one. All 4 of them could have quite easily come out of the event as women's champion. But yeah, a bit of a shame for Jada taking the pin. I personally would have maybe had Giulia take the pin if she's going to be floating between main roster and NXT going forward, which would not surprise me, especially as she showed up last night on Raw. But yeah, I had Grace to win the title. I don't think that was out of the complete possibility, but it clearly is going to be one of those things that happens in the future. I feel like she's almost guaranteed to be women's champion at some point. But yeah, Vaquer continuing as champion is obviously a very good thing. She's a very, very talented woman. And yeah, it's going to be one of the better things for NXT to keep her around for maybe a little bit longer. How much longer, I'm not sure. It does feel like WWE really want her on the main roster, especially as the reaction she got last night when she came out to and confronted Io Sky, which was a dream situation for me. But yeah, no, this match was really good. Like, again, probably one of the better matches of the show, one of the better matches of the weekend, to be fair. And yeah, very happy to see the women getting that kind of main spot in NXT now. Obviously, it's to be expected with the fact that the women's division in NXT is absolutely stacked. But yeah, very good performance for all 4. It wouldn't surprise me if all 4 of them go for the NXT Women's Championship again. And yeah, just a really solid match to have right before a very, very good main event. And finally, in the main event, Obafemi defeated Trick Williams and Javon Evans to retain the NXT Championship. And as I just alluded to, this for me was a absolutely fantastic match. It was absolutely match of the night. It was brilliant from start to finish. Obafemi is the triple threat match specialist. He is so good in them. Like last year's Stand and Deliver was really good. The Wesley and Joe Coffey one was really good. And this one was absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Javon Evans had a career-making performance in this match. He was everywhere, he was nowhere, he was jumping and bouncing all over the place because he's bouncy apparently. But yeah, no, this was absolutely fantastic. Like, Javon Evans looked like a star in this moment, and if he's not a solidified main eventer by this point, then I don't know what is going to make him a solidified main eventer. He really took it to two of the biggest stars in NXT, and yeah, really showed his own. And yeah, I've got nothing but positives for Javon Evans here. Trick looked great too. All three of the guys absolutely killed it. Trick, I feel like he was the third member of the match. Oba destroyed everyone. Javon Evans had a very good showing. Trick was there. He was, I don't know, I feel like I'm downplaying how like good Trick was in this match, but like this is really what's become of Trick. He is a solid member of the NXT roster, and yeah, he's really, really good. So, you know, of course he's going to be great in this match. But yeah, this was a awesome way to end what was a very, very good show from NXT again. You know, NXT seem to be absolutely killing it at the minute. They can't seem to put on a bad PLE, which is great for all of us fans. But yeah, no, Oba retaining made the most sense in my opinion. As I've said multiple times, he's going to have a very long reign with the NXT Championship. I can feel it in my loins. But yeah, no, I can't wait to see how this title reign goes down. And honestly, keep putting him in triple threat matches because he is just so good at them. And whenever he does have a triple threat, they're like match of the night performances. So yeah, very happy with how this went. And as I said, absolutely great way to finish the pay-per-view. So yeah, those are my thoughts and opinions on NXT Stand and Deliver 2025. Do put down in the comments below what you thought of the event, anything you think is going to happen after the event tonight on NXT, and yeah, if we do get a draft, it seems inevitable that we're going to get a draft. Who you think is main roster ready? Who you think is going to be main roster set for the draft? But yeah, I thought this was an absolutely fantastic show from NXT. Like I said, NXT seem to be absolutely killing it at the minute, and they don't seem to be looking like they're going to stop either, and which is just fantastic to see. And yeah, so to leave the video a like if you enjoyed it. Do subscribe, stick around. There's a lot of content coming, a lot of different stuff. AEW, TNA, WWE, all kind of different stuff coming up on the channel. So yeah, do stick around for all that. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys later on.